Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily update video. It is the start of another great trading week, and take a look at this heat map here. The tech sector really blew the top off today because, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple had a big day, up 6%. The other big stocks were up basically 4% or more. The semis had a good day today. AMD up 1.4%, Nvidia about 3.4%, Qualcomm, the Honey Badger, Intel. Basically, overall, great day in the market. You can see much more green than red on this heat map here. And let's get right into it because I did make some trades today and I actually have some exciting news for the channel. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. But let's talk about AMD and go to the Robinhood graph here. You can see we opened up green, slowly kind of sold off pre-market though. I was hoping we were going to open up more green than we did. But we did open up about 0.7% up. Can't complain about that. Immediately, within the first 5 minutes or so, sold off a little bit, down to only 0.4% up. But then, within the next 20-30 minutes, we did have a big rally here, up to 1.8% to a share price of about $84.63. And it was at this point right here where I said, you know what? This might be just kind of one of those morning spikes, and then we just slowly sell off or trade flat for the rest of the day. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to sell my covered calls. I own 200 shares of AMD that I was assigned on cash secured puts on a few weeks ago. I was assigned at $85 a share. As we can see, we're trading right around 85. So I wanted to sell some covered calls, and I took a look at the options chain. But before we get there, you can see right after I sold those calls, we dipped down a little bit. So I was feeling good about myself. I thought that my hypothesis was going to come true, that this was that early morning spike and that we're going to sell off a little bit or trade flat for the rest of the day. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. We rallied up to a point even higher than where I sold my covered calls. But the interesting thing is that even at these points, higher, as a share price higher than where I sold my covered calls, I was always profitable, actually. And I believe that's because the VIX or Vega was higher right when the market opened when I sold my covered calls than at this point a few hours later. So I think the VIX allowed me to get a little bit more premium than I could have if I had waited. So I was always in the green all day long. So I really didn't leave money on the table. So I'm super happy about that. I timed it just right. Obviously, a good chunk of that was luck, but I have a new arrow in my quiver, so we'll get to that towards the end of the video, but get excited because I'm excited about it. But as you can see, we did pretty much trade flat for the rest of the day. We closed the day up about 1.5%. So we're currently trading at about $84.35 after hours, so pretty much a flat day, to be honest with you. But that's great for me because I can collect theta decay on these premiums. I am already up, and let's take a look at the options chain to see just how much I am profitable in one day alone. So looking at the AMD option chain here, I first thought about selling covered calls for this Friday, and I wanted to sell them at the $90 strike because I thought, if we have a big green week today and AMD rallies or the market rallies, I don't want to get my shares called away for a little bit of money, right? I didn't want to leave money on the table, so I wanted to collect premium, but I also wanted to collect more money in stock appreciation. So by owning these shares at $85 a piece, if I sold them off at $90, that's $5 of stock appreciation per share. I own 200 shares, so that's a potential earning of $1,000 plus the premium that I collect while selling these covered calls. But I looked at the option chain today. You can see for $90, when I sold my calls, these things were going for about 30 to 40 bucks. So it wasn't great. If I wanted to do a calculation, let's just say $35 to make it a midpoint number. $35 divided by, I have $8,500 in capital tied up in each contract. That is a return on my capital of 0.4%. Not bad, right? That's kind of the bare minimum that I try and aim for every week on average. But I thought I could do better because then I looked at the following week expiration, October 23rd, same strike at $90. And at that time, these things were going for $1.30, which is where I sold my covered calls. So just doubling the time frame, meaning going out an extra week, I was able to collect triple the premium, or actually more than triple the premium, pretty much. So I was able to collect $130 per contract. So I collected a total of $260 because I sold 2 covered calls to represent my 200 shares of AMD. As we can see, they're already worth $1.01. So I'm profitable by $29 per contract times 2. I'm already up $58 in one trading day. That's about a 22% profit in one day. I did seriously think about just cashing out, closing my positions today at the end of the day, taking that money, and then hopefully opening up more covered calls maybe tomorrow or Wednesday if AMD continues to rally. I would collect more overall money that way by opening and closing trades, essentially scalping money along the day. I did seriously think about it, but the reason I didn't do it is because I thought AMD, and I thought the market in general, honestly, in the tech sector, I think we're going to have a red day tomorrow. I think it's going to be turnaround Tuesday, but not in a good way. So let's take a look at the TradingView chart here. This is the AMD graph. This is the daily candle. So every candle here represents one day of trading. If you've missed my prior videos on how I did this technical analysis, take a look on my YouTube channel. You can find the updated AMD technical analysis video. But these yellow lines are areas of support and resistance that I've identified. These blue lines are gaps that may or may not get filled soon. This orange line here represents the 21-day moving average, where the pink line is the 50-day moving average. So if I zoom in here, you can see on Friday, we pretty much bounced right or closed right at this Fibonacci retracement level, which is the 23.6% level, and also an area of what I thought was support at roughly $84, $83, $84, somewhere around there. Today, thankfully, we were able to bounce up and off it. We did not break down below it, which is a great bullish sign short term. And you can see we also closed the day above that trend line. So we closed the day at about $84.30. So what I'm looking for tomorrow is for another green day where we close above 83 or 84-ish. That to me would confirm that this is again going to hold up as support, at least for the short term. What I don't want to see, and what I'm afraid of actually, is that, as I showed you in the heat map earlier in the video, there was very big run-ups in the tech sector today. The market as well. I mean, let's take a look at SPY. The SPY is the S&P 500 ETF. We went from Friday, we closed at about 347, let's say. Today we closed at 352. We rose, actually we closed pretty much at 353 to be honest with you. We're actually 352.97 post market right now. So we basically went up like $5 in one trading day, which is a lot for SPY. I mean, SPY is up 1.6%, which is a lot in my opinion for the S&P 500 ETF. It usually doesn't move that much. This is actually usually one of the more less volatile tickers. And that's usually why if you ever trade options on SPY, the premiums are just never really that juicy because it's not a volatile ticker. But as we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row, we've basically been just gapping up day after day. I think we're going to be due for a pullback. And I think, again, this is just my opinion, that might happen tomorrow because we had such a big run up today. Look how big this candle is compared to the past 2 days. The other thing is if you take a look, we are well above the 50 and the 21-day moving averages on SPY. And the other thing is, look how high this is compared to what I identified as the level of support at around 343. We are basically $10 above it. I don't identify an area of support higher up right now because we're on the verge of, again, record highs for SPY. So there's not a lot of price data here. Maybe there's an area of support right here actually, because as I look at it, this is the top of the wick from September 4th. And it's pretty much near the top of the wick from this past Friday. So maybe there's an area of support, and also this wick here from August 26th. So maybe 348 is actually the closest area of support, but even then, we're still a few dollars above that. So I would not be surprised if we have a pullback tomorrow or Wednesday, and that's why I did not close my AMD positions at the end of the day today. Because I thought if AMD has a red day, or if the market has an overall red day and pulls AMD back with it, then I'm going to be able to collect even more premium closing these options out at the end of the day tomorrow. Honestly, if I'm right and we have a red day tomorrow and maybe these options go to 50% profitable by the end of the day tomorrow, I'm most likely going to close them out because to get 50% profit on 2 trading days on an option that is basically 2 weeks out, that's definitely worth it, because otherwise it's not worth trying to get the other 50% of the max profit when you have more than 50% time left in the option. So if that's the case and we have a red day, I'm going to buy back my options tomorrow, probably at the end of the day, to squeeze out as much juicy premium as I can. And then I'll look to open up more covered calls the following day, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, if we have another rally, just kind of as a turnaround day. But that is my trade for today, my trade so far on AMD. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. So I'm really happy to show this to you because I've been looking into this for a while now, and what this is option flow data. So this is basically following what you can consider the smart money or the institutional investors, these people that are throwing big money around in terms of options and stocks. So this is kind of a real-time alert system that will show me the movement on whatever ticker I want to look at, or just every ticker in general that has big movement. But of course, I'm interested in AMD. So I looked at AMD today, and if I scroll down here, you can see these are all the order flow data that came through on AMD today. So the green boxes here represent calls, the red boxes represent puts. So just at a glance, you can see more calls came through than puts. Now, the other thing was, and this kind of helped me make my trade, was if I take a look at about 9:36 a.m., 9:41 a.m., so right after the market opened, you can see AMD was trading at around $83.75, $84.21, and at that time, 2 order flows came in where somebody or some institution bought calls at the 90 strike that actually expire this Friday. So they bought weekly calls at the 90 strike. So that made me feel good about my 90 strike. Although I didn't sell it for this Friday, I wanted to collect more premium, so I sold it for the following Friday. But you can see this order was for a total of about $17,000. This one was for a total of just under $34,000. So big orders that came in on AMD. But if you look through this chart throughout the rest of the day, there were orders for 167,000, 440,000, and a lot of these big orders are calls. So that tells me that the smart money or these institutional investors are at least short-term bullish on AMD. You can see a good number of these trades are weeklies. They all have Friday expirations, especially towards the end of the day. People were buying 84, 86 strike weekly calls on AMD for tens of thousands, if not, over $100,000 worth of order there. So I'm going to be definitely looking into this in every video now. I'm going to pay attention to this to see if it helps me trade, and hopefully I can earn more profit than I was doing before. So stay tuned for that. I also have some more news coming up in regards to this program. So if you're interested, make sure you join our Discord server. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, happy trading.